Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody? What's up, Brad? Good to see you. Digging the new logo. Good morning, Danita. Coral. Bodacious. He looks like a potato. He really does. True Crime Housewife. Good to see you. Kimmy, hello. There's Anthony Greeno, Julie Melvin, and I think those are Noe's hands. Good morning, Ruckus. Good to see you. Return the diamonds. Morning. Ronnie C. Hello. I think it was support, but they will be paying him a visit real soon. I don't know. I find it very strange they were there. Good to see you, Olivia. SP74 for the poll. I say none of the above. They were prepared to testify in the hearing. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I think Vito was the one that interviewed Kagan Klein. So maybe they were there to drop off a copy of the transcript or just kind of testify about what they found. You know, let's say they were going to go ahead with the sentencing. They may have wanted to ask investigators their opinion on what they seen in the home during the search. Because remember, they didn't search Kagan Klein because they had a tip on CSAM. They were directly there because of the Delphi investigation. That's what brought them to Kagan Klein. They didn't arrest Kagan Klein on something completely separate and then say, hey, also, this fake account that you created is tied in over here. Can you explain that? No. They saw the fake Anthony Schatz profile while investigating the double homicide of Abby and Libby, and it led to Kagan Klein. It's the only reason he got in trouble. It's because they found that account. CJK, Lakeside, good to see you guys. What's up, Arch? Yeah, he's definitely getting some commissary. Potato head. Good morning, Phil. Legion, hello. Good to see you, Beach Fairy, CJK, Susie, Miss Kitty. And Miss Persevere. And Bossy, if you're watching, if you want to call in, let me know. I'll drop the link for you. She was boots on the ground for us. We're going to play her video here in just a second. And then we got wife Lilith up here on the left. I don't know if you guys can see her. I think that might be Deb behind her. K Money, what's up? She Warrior. Miss Dog Lover, Don Spain, Todd, what's up? Jill. And Vroom, good morning. Bossy's in the house. Yep, that's him. That looks like Achi right there. In the suit, in the dark blue suit. A lot of ramen noodles, I guess. I don't know. It looks like he ate somebody. Happy Friday, rescue. uh, you got it, Arch. Arch is the voice of reason. Good morning, Melissa. Yeah, I'm sure they wanted to go to his house on the 21st, but he wasn't there. He was in Las Vegas. But the second he got back, they kicked in his door. Hey, Candace, how are you? Boston Christian, what's up? And here's Bossy's video that she got from just outside the courtroom. Let's go ahead and play that. What's up, Redfoot? Good to see you. Yeah, I think Lilith was sitting in the courtroom on his side. So if anybody's sending him money, it could be her. At 517 Kels. Yeah, it seems like every time they put him on screen, he looks worse. Outside the Grid says, but even still, that does not directly tie him to Richard Allen. I mean, it is circumstantial, but there could be two evils on that bridge. Yeah, this seems like a stall tactic. I grabbed a clip of the Murder Sheet podcast. They were interviewed yesterday, I think, by Court TV. And Kevin actually made a great comment. I grabbed that. We'll listen to that here in a second. I think it should kick off the conversation pretty well. I agree with him 100%. Yeah, that's a good point. Ruckus Rock says, get a good look, girls. That's what you're sending nudes to when you're meeting random people online. What's up, Kimmy, Rebecca, Charlie Murphy? Yeah, but we know they know each other. No, he said she would come and visit with him in jail. What's up, Frank Meister, Lakeside, Andrew Derringer? Fig Solves in the house. What's up? Good morning, Cindy. Good morning, Cindy. Indy Pam. Cindy with the super chat. This is where it's at, folks. Thank you, Cindy. Slatherings. He's almost too on the nose for a catfisher. Hello, Julie. Yeah, his shoes look clean. Jokes in the chat are fire this morning. They're always fire. All right, let's take a listen here to Kevin Greenlee from the Murder Sheet. He's talking with Alex from Court TV.
Court today, Courtney Allwine, and executed to note that the prosecutors in the court today, Courtney Allwine and Jennifer Kiefer, they really pushed hard against this claim that the client just received this so-called new evidence a day ago. They stood up and said this is just a delaying tactic.
So you hear what he's saying? He's saying what he goes on to say is that basically Kagan's using this as a stall tactic. He's doing any and everything he can to prevent being sentenced because I don't think he's made his choice yet 100% if he's involved in anything. But what Kevin makes it seem like is he's using this as a stall tactic, saying, hey, I never had an opportunity to sit down and read my interview transcripts, not from the night of the search warrant and not from my second interview. So he's basically saying, hey, we haven't made an educated decision because we haven't seen everything. So, I mean, straight up, it's stall tactic.
Because he's afraid to face the music. They said he actually got this so-called new evidence a year ago. And also this evidence that he allegedly needs to review, they said it's basically just transcripts of police interviews he gave.
Yeah, so he was part of the interview. So hopefully they're not going to use those transcripts to get some of those charges removed. And because if you listen in the interview, they're basically saying, Kagan, we know this isn't all you. So if the investigators are telling him, hey, we know that this is not all you, I just expected that his defense would use that in court and say, hey, look, even the investigators are telling him this is not all you. So my client's not going to take all these charges because you don't believe that it's all him. So I wonder if they're going to go ahead and look at that option. Or they're just going to stall. Because once he's sentenced, that's it. And in my uneducated guess, I just assumed that Jerry Holman and David Vito were there in case he was sentenced for the CSAM. Then they could go ahead and take him into custody. Maybe even charge him with something. I don't know. For all we know, Richard Allen is rolling over on him, not vice versa. The only thing that makes me think it's him is everything relating to the Wabash search, the river search. You know, we know that they took him into custody. We know that they filed confidential for everything to be confidential relating to that search. Good morning, Sparky. Good to see you. Boston with the super chat. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. So is Achi not giving Kagan everything? Well, I'm sure he has. I mean, why does he need to read the interview? He was there. It's like more like a tactic. I feel like if he's holding out, he's going to hold out to the very last minute. He's going to ask his attorney, "Hey, what are my options? Can I always change my mind, at this moment in time?" He's like, "Yeah, you have until such and such time." And if Kagan's withholding any information and he's saying, "Oh shit, I might serve back to back sentences," you know, 30 times 6. That's a long time. If he's feeling like that and he hasn't provided everything he knows for the Delphi case, he's going to wait and see what the sentencing is going to be like. But when you have reports coming out that the prosecution is looking for the max, they're going to push everything for the max, makes it seem as if he's not cooperating or not as much as we might think. Apparently, there was a man in a pink shirt there with him, or no, I need further information on that. But there may have been another woman as well. What's up, Anthony? Kevin says, "True sleuth, using the cops' lies against them." Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, what other choice does he have? If he gets sentenced, I wonder if he's going to stay in the same jail. So, I mean, everything might change for him. If he's found 1 ounce of comfort, that could all change, maybe. Yep, no appeals. Let's zip on down. Miss Doglover with the super chat. He is truly disgusting. The absolute state of him. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Let's go to Fig. Kevin gave some insight on why Vito was there. He may have had to testify Holman for support as he is real familiar with KK. Yeah, and I think he conducted some of the interviews. So, I mean, if they were going to ask him or if they needed any of that information, he's there. Plus, I think Holman was part of the original investigation when they searched his home. So I wonder if it ties in with that. They might be asked to testify, maybe ask about certain documents, things like that. Some of those last minute questions, you just want to make sure you're available for the judge to ask them, maybe. I don't know. A lot of billable hours. Yeah, Keegan, in my opinion, is buying time, wasting time. But if he is buying time, my question is, what's he buying time for? What's he still thinking about? What's he still got to mull over in that little brain of his? What is he contemplating? And does it have anything to do with what's going on with Richard Allen? I mean, right now it's all speculation. There's nothing. But like I said, he filed documents and paperwork for everything that's going on moving forward with Kagan Klein is to be confidential. So maybe they actually did their job for once and actually kept it confidential. All right, let's pop this up on the screen. I think my coffee's still a little too hot. Hey, D, good to see you. Let me drop this link for anybody interested in joining me live here for the last 30 minutes. Other than that, I'm going to hang out in the chat with you guys and see what you have to say. Candace says, can he keep going back and forth, changing his mind from pleading out and then not pleading out? Can the judge stop it? He has every right, you know. This is the rest of his life. You know, the prosecution's going to manipulate the system against him. It's only fair that he does the same. Yeah, what happened to his hair? He is kind of looking like his grandfather. His grandfather was kind of heavy set and kind of balding, I think. If that's true, I think we take after our grandparents more so than our folks. Hey, Chopper. Thanks, K Money. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Don't be so shy. The next sentencing will have to make the doors wider and bring him to court on a trailer. Jeez. Slathering says KK was probably the fall guy for the dad anyway. You think TK's still in play, huh? Hey, what's up, Grizz? Yeah, I don't think he wants to go to a real prison. I think he's feeling somewhat settled where he's at. Marianne Foster, hello. Marianne says, question is what or who is making KK keep his mouth shut about Delphi? I mean, if he's involved, really involved, he may just have his own selfish motivations. I mean, it's a death penalty crime. Life in prison, you know, at the least. I don't know. Because right now I could see maybe Kagan being sentenced to maybe 10, 15 years on top of the time served and then get out in like 8 and just be on some weird strict probation for the rest of his life. Most likely reoffend later on in his life, like they all do. I don't know. In my opinion, once you're catfishing, you've already crossed that line in your fantasy. We're just thinking about it's no longer enough. Now you're victimizing others for some weird stuff that's going on in your own head. You know, selfishness. Once you cross that line, I think on the other side of that line, it's a steep slope. And you just start sliding down it. Just like the whole Jesse McFadden story. All started with CSAM. Now look where it ended up. Charlie says, yeah, I think they were there to testify sentencing and got caught off guard by him asking for a continuance. Yeah, that's what most likely happened. But in my mind, I'm hoping they were there to take him into custody. Yeah, I understood what you meant, Kevin. You know, they're manipulating him, and now he's using that manipulation to manipulate the courts. So tactics used by law enforcement may now be tactics used by the defense. What's up, Bogey? Detectives are required to show up at sentencing. Yeah, but they're not part of his case. They're the leads for the Delphi murder homicide. They're not lead investigators for his case. Yep, that's what I'm thinking, Don. He wants as much time spent in county jail instead of prison, in my opinion. Well, yeah, he gets to visit with Lilith. He gets to hang out like like a normal person. Who knows what it'll be like in prison? Probably a scary thought for him. Yep, and he just doesn't want to go to real prison. Geez, when I saw those video calls he made on his gel tablet, I thought he was in a dang hotel room. He's comfy there for sure. Oh yeah. He's got his weight up. He's got a girlfriend. He's got friends that talk with him. Don't judge him for being a catfish sea stammer. Yeah, bossy. Just let me know. We only have about maybe 25 minutes remaining. I didn't plan on being on here too long. I was just out of it yesterday. I was doing all my yard work. I don't know about you guys, but if you suffer from allergies, like that shit can hit you. Feels like you have a cloud on your brain. And I don't take antihistamines. Vicky says KK needs to shave the rest of that. Looks awful. I don't think there's anything he can do. Just embrace it. Pudgy. Hey, Rhonda. If detectives had to go to every sentencing hearing, they'd never get anything done. A lot of people would go free too. Had a pleasure of listening to Julie Melvin and some of her insight last night. Yeah, Julie's good. She knows a lot about the case. She's local. She's had an opportunity to talk with some of the investigators. So, yeah, definitely a source of information on this case. Hey, Turquoise. He must get lots of snacks. Yeah, he looks like he's on a diet of what are those things called? Honey buns and ramen noodles. That's what I'm seeing here. Those are the two most unhealthy things I can think of. Hey, Steffa. Good to see you. KK so fat, fell over, broke his leg, and honey buns fell out. Outside of the grid says, I'm a replica of my maternal grandfather. Yeah. Seems to be the way it is. Take more after, like, skips a generation. She Warrior, hello. R. Barley says, he looks like BG there. Hey, Grunge. Yeah, he's a big boy. He's about as wide as all three of those cops. And I don't think it's glandular. Yeah, he did look like he was kind of pouting. But when he came right here, he kind of got a little pep in his step. K Money says, I believe KK isn't involved with the Delphi murders directly. Richard Allen was a lone wolf. Loose lips sink ships. No way more than one was involved and stayed silent over 5 years. Yeah, he might be sick, Heather. Yep. Should be how it works, Beach. You lucked out. Even when Richard Allen gets convicted, people will still hate KK more because he's an incel pervert cliche. I don't know if they'll hate him more. Carol says Julie Melvin is behind the scenes on a lot of things. Kudos to her. Yep. She's brought a lot of people together too. Well, I don't have anything that points to him, but I definitely wouldn't just disregard him being involved. To me, TK is like a Ron Logan type character. Very, very close to what was going on, but just no real connection of involvement. I would even say TK is a little bit further out than Ron Logan. You know, Ron Logan had opportunity and all that stuff. We don't know what was going on with TK. Hopefully, we'll find out. Yeah, and he could be threatening him. And honestly, if Kagan's facing the full blunt force of his charges, why should he talk? You know what I mean? If he's not getting anything in return, all they can say is, hey, you're going to have to face all of these charges, and then we can give you immunity on any part of the Delphi case. But honestly, if he just faces all those charges, what do they have on him as far as the Delphi? Nothing. So I feel like he's stuck right there between a rock and a hard place. Could be, Rebecca. Hey, Carol. Miss Mystery, hello, says rats are ratting on other rats or blaming other rats. They're getting close. Yeah, they could be pointing at each other. Yeah. And if Kagan led to the arrest of Richard Allen, he probably only told a real small part of, his involvement. Damn half truth. Lisa, hello. I think he got the jail's lunch menu and didn't want to miss out on the gravy fried. It's Taco Tuesday. You guys can sentence me on Wednesday. Hey, K, whole thing is one big shit show. KK should have, by all rights, tried and sentenced on these charges in 2017. Everyone was aware of the charges and he wasn't cooperating with law enforcement. They dropped the ball. Yeah, they claimed it was a clerical error. We hope it was a tactic. See, that's where we kind of lose it. It's either we put too much blame on law enforcement and investigators or we give them too much credit. What's up, Westoris? Will just cut his junk off before he's let out. Chemical castration, perhaps? SB74 has Lilith explained her attraction to child predators? No, but I think that's a lot of why people have issues with her is because she supports him. What I'm asking more specifically is can he just keep doing this forever? No, he can't do it forever, but I'm sure he might have a few other tricks up his sleeve. And it could be as simple as, hey, Kagan talking to his defense attorney saying, hey, I need some time to think. What do I do? Well, we can do this. We could use this as a stall tactic. That'll give us until the next hearing. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. Maybe he just needs time to think. Oh, yeah, Cindy, they were kicking my butt yesterday. I think the worst thing for me is grass. Remember when I was in high school, at football practice, I had an asthma attack, and I don't even have asthma. Apparently, it was from I had an allergic reaction, and then it caused me to have an asthma attack. It's crazy. Yeah, that Anthony Schatz really let himself go, huh? Yeah, me too, Beach. We've had it's been storming out here in Phoenix. We have what's called monsoon season. I mean, it just hits during this time of the year, just back to back, these crazy storms. So we'll have the windows down. So everything that I cut up as far as the yard, mowing the lawn, all that just came inside. Got me good. Little one, is Holman ISP over the area where KK committed the crime? Holman is the lead investigator for Delphi, him and Vito. Holman is Indiana State Police, which he would be over KK. But I know he's not handling that investigation. The turds? Who are the turds? Chopper says, so does everyone think it's just KK and Richard Allen involved? I think there's a third person. There could be somebody that recruited Richard Allen. Like, hey, man, you want to make some money? Or, hey, I need your help. We know that there was a pedo ring. So if they know that Kagan Klein is facing some kind of potential arrest, let's say Libby or somebody could have turned them in, which would have had a domino effect. That could have been a big deal for somebody. I don't think that's what happened, but it is possible there's a third party with their own motivation. The only thing about Richard Allen is the anger. Man, I get the feeling of so much rage. For him, it's personal. He's very angry. And I don't know if Richard Allen was using the Anthony Shots account, gained access with through a loose relationship with Kagan Klein, maybe even the third party that introduced Richard Allen to the Anthony Shots. But I think it was him directly in the same room with Kagan Klein. And if Richard Allen took control over that, for all we know, he could have been communicating with Libby for an entire week. You know, letting just spilling his guts, being honest with her. You know, now that she accepts him, thinking that he's this successful young model, you know, he starts being himself, and himself is a really creepy guy. Maybe he was like revealing secrets and got angry. Like, yeah, you like me when you think I'm this handsome model. And then maybe his own insecurities played a part, some stress that was going on in his relationship. Incel stuff. I don't know if you've ever guys seen any of the coverage I did. I did a live stream on incels who get so frustrated that they commit sexual assault. They'll actually just go out and assault people. There was one guy, he would walk up to a woman and say, "Hey, would you ever date me?" And some of them would be like, "I don't know you." And he's all, "No, you would never date me." And then he would just mace them, spray him with mace right in the face. And he wasn't like some fat, disgusting person. He was just a he was just a weird guy. So I don't know. I get some of those vibes from Richard Allen. He was just so frustrated because he knew that they would never accept him for who he really is, right? Melissa been sick 2 days, allergies, but not just my man giving me his cold. But anyways, I started asparagus, broccoli sprouts, and beans and beets. Nice. Yeah, my broccoli's looking nice. The only problem with broccoli is the pests. Man, they love it because you can just eat every part of that broccoli plant. Those big leaves, you can just eat them. Yeah, GP, it's a ramen. He looks like he's on that ramen diet. Got his weight up. Yeah, he's sweating honey. Good morning. Kib Kitty. Welcome. Yeah, that's strange. Some of my buddies growing up, some of who I thought were the ugliest looking guys, you know, always had really great personalities and just never affected them. Being an incel is just something that's wrong with that person, the way that they're looking at the world through a very like negative lens. Most of these incels that I've seen or that I've covered that become violent have a preconceived notion about women. They have a hatred that's been built in, and they have these requirements of women that are just unrealistic. And they say, "Oh, well, that's the reason why I can't hook up, is because I can't find the right girl." But no, they're just whacked out from the beginning. Constantly curious. It seems like most of the criminal profilers think he acted alone, and law enforcement believes others are involved. I don't know. Every profiler that I've seen before the arrest of Richard Allen believed that others could be involved. I agree, Ann. I think he was okay being a catfish. I think at some point Richard Allen was provided access to the Anthony Shots account, whether it was casually hanging out or to purchase it. I could see a family man, with no access to social media, but being a pervert, thinking that a phone would be his best bet. Because think about it, a phone is basically this giant computer, you know, um, that fits right in your hand. The power of that phone, you could store all kinds of data, photos, and maybe it's just not a one-time purchase. You send Kagan a message like, "Hey, I want some, I want more." Okay, send me some money, and then I'll put a drop into the Dropbox or whatever that you have access to. Or maybe it's a quid pro quo. You send me something, I'll send you something. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up here in about 5 minutes. Try to grab a couple more of these comments here. See if I'm missing anything. See here. This was an article that I pulled. The judge overseeing the child porn case against Keegan Kline has granted a continuance in the case, and his sentencing has been delayed until July. The decision came as Kline's defense attorneys requested the continuance so that time could be had to review new evidence in the case. Kevin of the Murder Sheet, he seems to think that it's transcripts. Bossy, we're out of time. Sorry. I got about 5 more minutes. Oh, don't forget, though, later on today, me and Mel from Cold Truth, um, we're going to be discussing the Henrietta case. We were going to go yesterday, but I had to reschedule because of what was going on. But we're gonna hit that tonight. I mean, she has crazy information about it. She sent me a dossier on McFadden. I mean, this dude is completely insane. And to me, this is what happens if you're not arrested. This is what happens to a catfish like Keegan Klein. This is what they become. This is what the fantasy evolves into. And if they let Keegan Klein out before too long, he's going to be doing the same stuff. What's up, Curly? Andrew Derringer. The murder sheet said that he texted them the night before talking about discovery. He should have gotten back in 2017. I think I don't know if that would be considered discovery. I know certain things, if you want it, all you got to do is make the request. Some things law enforcement doesn't have to show them, especially if they don't plan on using it. Like, what does he need the transcripts for? Those have nothing to do with his current case. I mean, they do, but really they're questioning him about the Delphi murders. So I mean, even just that is interesting. They're like, "Hey, we're not here to talk to you about these. We're going to go ahead and go over those charges because there's a lot of information in there about you communicating with Libby and Abby. Not to mention other CSAMers, which easily could have been how he connected with Richard Allen. But I don't think so. I think Richard Allen may be more likely connected to TK. Being connected to TK, I would say maybe through the nightlife and Richard Allen spending time in Peru at that specific point in time with his wife taking care of her mother in Peru. So that's another coincidence. And I don't know if that's factual. For all I know, the mother came to Delphi and was staying there with them, but I think she was already set up in Peru. So I have a feeling from some of the half truths that Kagan was kind of explaining to investigators in his transcript, they made it seem as if people would just kind of hang out at the TK residence, late at night, drugs, PCP, acid, shrooms, all this weird stuff. Passing out on the couch. So I could totally see a Richard Allen out at the bar, ends up at TK's, asking them something like, "Hey, you know any girls or anything?" Something like that. Or maybe even just curious to what Kagan was doing. Kimberly says, none of the above for the answer to your poll. They were there so they could be direct court witnesses. Well, that is one of the questions. Here, let me go ahead and clear out that poll. Okay, so the poll question was, why was Jerry Holman and David Vito at Kagan's sentencing hearing? 29% said ready to take him into custody, show support for the victims. And this kind of goes to your answer. His original warrant was for Delphi. So they're just there to testify pertaining to that part of, because all the charges that Kagan are facing, remember, they were brought up because of a search warrant served for the Delphi case. 51% said good question. Looking like his granddad. Yeah, that's awful. Thank you, Ruckus. Yeah, if you could hit that like button on the way out. We're getting ready to get out of here in about a minute or two. If you guys are following the Henrietta murders, Jesse McFadden, that crazy case, come hang out with me and Mel tonight. I think we're going to hang out at about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Should be a good one. I've been doing my research. She has all the information already, everything pertaining to the case. I think we're going to have a really good show. Don't miss it. Selling the CSAM accounts and child. CSAM is how he made money. Yeah, I could see that. We know he's been doing it since about 2014, 2016. The Anthony Shots account could have been created for the purposes of selling. Like, okay, I'm going to create this account here. I'm going to get all these photos from all these people, all these victims out there, and then I'm going to set up shop. And I think his Emily Ann, where he was catfishing other girls as a 13-year-old girl, I think that's how he met a lot of these CSAMers. You know, I could see them trying to catfish each other and identifying, you know, hey, wait a minute. Hey, I know what you're doing. Hey, you want to, you know, show me yours, I'll show you mine. Kimmy says, I'm still at Lone Wolf. 100% agree with Fig's theories, but I'm still open and listening for other possible connections. And this is where I'm at, Don. Don says, and this is a response to Chopper, I think Richard Allen was a lone wolf who used Keegan's profile to find potential victims. That's what I think happened. But whenever I go down that path, it brings me back to Vegas. And I don't know what the hell that was all about. All right, guys. If you're part of the replay crew, you know what to do. Drop a comment. If you could, hit the thumbs up on your way out. Lilith, really sick of you making up lies about me. Stop making shit up. What did I make up? So we'll hear what the response is here, and then we'll get out. Yep, always good to see you, Beach. Toodaloo. Argumentative, selective mute. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Well, looks like we're not getting a response because everything I said was the truth. And I didn't say anything bad. Were you not there to support Kagan Klein? Yes, you were. Were you sitting on his side in the courtroom? That's what I heard. Don't know. Did you visit him in jail? That's what Noe told us. If you can correct one of those lies, please do so now. Not trying to harp on you. Because honestly, I could care less. Beach Fairy says, a pedo sympathizer. I'm sorry, I have little room for understanding. Hey, that's on her. But I definitely don't want to be spreading lies, so feel free to correct me in the comments, Lilith, if you would like. That way I can stop spreading these lies that you say I'm talking or speaking. That's how I feel about it, Beach. We reap what we sow. Nothing bad, anyway. Just pointed her out in the courtroom, stated a few facts. And honestly, I won't bring it up or her again. It's that simple. That was my mistake. Won't be doing that again. Yeah, that's what it is, Slatherings. The Delphi case is a place where great storytellers get stuck in their own ignorance. So just because you are really good at telling a story and piecing together information doesn't mean that you're a great investigator. You know, it just means that you're good at putting the pieces together. You know, we got to get better at where did these pieces come from? Is this even a viable piece? You know, things like that. But on that note, guys, I am out of time, and I'll see you later. Peace.